Hello, everybody. This is Brian from Breaking Down Security. The podcast you're listening to was originally recorded on January 28th. At the time, the Facetime bug was just dropping literally an hour before we started recording, as you'll hear in the original recording. This was recorded a week later on February 3rd. So according to CNBC, the patches for the fix, server side and client side, are all being either sent out as of the recording on February 3rd or will be sent out early next week to all users of Apple devices with the FaceTime versions that are vulnerable. Apple did, in fact, credit the family of the 14-year-old boy who found the bug originally and stressed that they will try to make sure that this doesn't happen in the future. And I just wanted to drop that line just as an update because we said we would in the show. So enjoy. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's Brian for Breaking Down Security. And as always, we have almost everybody here this week. Mr. Betcher is out with a family emergency, but I got Ms. Berlin.
Yay.
She's a little jet lagged.
Only a little bit.
Yeah. Well,
it's better coming back this way, though.
You said you took like 3 naps today.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I actually like traveling west. Yeah, east always kills me, so... Yeah, because, you can't go to sleep and then you have to get up, like, if you have things to do in the mornings, like, right. You have to get up early, yep. Even though it's 3 a.m. at home, or yep. 2 a.m. at home. Yep.
And it's rough. It's really rough.
So the last time we talked to you was with Miss Liz Rice. We were doing the DevOps thing. That was a very interesting show. I thought that one was great.
Yeah, I learned a lot.
Yeah, I think that there are definitely ways that we can get security into the DevOps arena by not necessarily calling it security, probably like process safety, if you will.
Whatever you want to call it.
If the security people were running, handling the creation of the images, for instance, that your Docker containers are being pulled from, I could definitely see that as a way of inserting ourselves in, because we would be the gatekeepers of making sure that the image is always updated and always correct. So, but I mean, that requires some skill in creating Docker images or creating, that process on the back end. So,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely room, and, the InfoSec people want to get there. It takes a little bit of doing from the DevOps people to let us sit at the big people table. So when we talked to you that time, you were actually at ShmooCon, right?
I was. I had just gotten there.
Right. Literally, like right off the plane to the hotel room, set up the audio. Yeah. Ran
to my hotel room because I knew I was going to be late.
I'm sorry. You're such a trooper. We were going to go without you.
No.
You would have had way more fun probably at Shmoo than sitting on the show.
Impossible.
Yeah. So ShmooCon is still going on. I think every podcast has talked about the quitting of the DerbyCon. Which
we can blow right past that.
Excellent.
I have talked that topic to death.
Yeah,
I tell you.
Yeah, if you're interested, don't bother researching why or the reasons. There are a myriad of reasons, and none of them are probably all correct. But we'll definitely try to be at the last DerbyCon. But yeah,
I will be there for sure.
Yeah. I've already took time off in my calendar.
I have to use my black badge at least once.
Yeah. Kind of sucks. Yeah. I'll never get a black badge in anywhere, I don't think. So it's all right. So the reason you're jet lagged, you flew what, to LaGuardia or something? Someplace like that?
No. You couldn't fly into LaGuardia when I was flying.
Oh, okay.
They closed it. Yeah. No, I flew from Cleveland to Atlanta to Amsterdam to Leeds, UK.
Wait. I'm sorry. That sounds like a very roundabout way of getting someplace.
So first off, Leeds is a very small airport. Like it has gates 1 through 11. Like that's it.
Right. Okay. We would call that a regional airport over here.
Yeah. So Leeds is very tiny.
Right.
But so I usually fly out of Detroit. Detroit had 0 flights going to, well, they had very expensive flights going to the UK at the time I wanted to go.
Okay.
And I like flying Delta. So Cleveland actually had a Delta flight, but it had the 2 layovers. So, So to get there and not have to pay an arm and like the next cheapest flight was like $3,000. So I went with like the $1,600 one and just had 2 layovers.
Must be nice to be 5'2" and be able to sit and coach comfortably.
I still get a kind of like a Comfort Plus just because I like the free food and stuff.
Okay, I can see that.
You get free drinks and like blanket and pillow and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so Sleggy brunettes, we don't get. We have to, fly fancy class or whatever to be able to.
Yeah. Like I don't really need business class because like I can sleep.
Right.
I can sleep pretty much anywhere, but being 5'3", it's not too difficult to fit in a regular seat.
Yeah. I give it about 10 years before they start putting just hammocks in all the planes because it's just more economy,
I wouldn't mind.
I wouldn't mind it either. I'd be able to sleep at least,
Just like bean bags everywhere.
Yeah. And yeah, when I'm in coach, man, I am sucking. I don't know if it's because I'm not fat, I don't think. But
well, have you been on a sub or like aircraft carrier?
I have been in an aircraft carrier once or twice.
Yeah, so I've like seen, like I've not been on one, but I've seen like the bunks there.
Yeah, they're coffin bunks for a reason.
Yeah, you just stack people.
Oh right. Oh yeah, there you go. Or like Fifth Element when they're going to Flotsen's Paradise or whatever, where they're just in a tube and then they go to sleep and they wake up.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's that'd be perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so, how was Bsides Leeds?
Amazing.
Really?
So many nice people. So his name's Mark. It's Large Cardinal on Twitter. Mm-hmm. He did such an amazing job.
Really?
It's their second year. They had a lockpick village, car hacking village, our mental health village was there, and 3 tracks, 1 day, and just like 75% of the people were students.
Mm-hmm.
And they were all very nice and nobody fought with each other. It was a very nice experience.
Yeah.
I had a whole lot of fun and everybody was pretty amazing.
And you said there was somebody there that lives in France or something. Cookie?
Yeah, Cookie. Yeah, she lives in Paris and she said she listens to us. So I told her like you were concerned all of our foreign listeners were fake. So I actually met one of them.
Awesome. And she's Cookie on Twitter maybe?
I'll send you her.
Please do, because I want to put her Twitter handle, or maybe if she'll let us. I don't know. I put Large Cardinals in there on the show notes. Okay.
All right. Yeah, I know he wouldn't care.
Yeah.
But Cookie just started in InfoSec not too long ago. So,
that's awesome.
It was interesting because we were talking about like the differences in cultures when talking about mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking about like the talk that I gave, the keynote that I give on mental health and InfoSec and how that might not go over super well in France.
How come?
Just because they are, I don't know how to, I mean, I've never been to France, but like, just like thinking about it, they seem like they're less open to like listen to that maybe, or talk about it for sure.
Huh. Interesting.
Because like I've given that talk at places and seen a very large amount of very uncomfortable people in the audience.
Right.
I could see that happening there too, for sure.
Well, some people, it's an uncomfortable, thing. And, Europe's got the whole GDPR thing. So they're big into data privacy and protecting the person, the identity of the people. So you're just basically airing dirty laundry in that case, I would imagine.
Right.
So that makes them uncomfortable because it's like, why would you want to expose yourself like that?
Yep.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm just an ignorant American. So, you know. I did hear an interesting thing about the reason why different cultures treat privacy differently.
Really?
You know what? So some places that would have breaches, they don't treat it as a big a deal as if it's personal information versus as if it's financial information, for instance. In China specifically, because the government has access to pretty much all the data, there's I don't know if it's true or not. It's only anecdotal evidence, but it seems like their data breaches aren't a big deal because it's, the data is all available to the government. So they automatically assume that they don't have any privacy.
Okay.
I could be wrong. If there's anybody in China who listens to the show, and I know that there's at least 30 or 40 people, please let us know what it's like over there for you guys if you have privacy breaches or...
Wait, do we automatically assume that we have privacy?
Well, I think there's some people who believe that it is possible to get it back.
Really?
I think there are. I think there are some people that believe that it is possible to get it back. I assume that there's no privacy whatsoever.
I assume there's none unless you're Amish.
No, not even with Amish. I think, unless you're completely not in the system. But you still pay taxes, right? You own land.
I'm assuming you still have a social security number when you're Amish. But other than that, you're not... Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. You would have to not ever go to a hospital.
True.
And maybe not even have a social security number. If you're just born and exist. Yeah.
I do know that when I lived in Springfield, Missouri, where my family lives now, and my first job out of high school was working in the hospital, and this was before HIPAA guidelines came out. So I was very morbid. So every door I walked past at the time still had the patient's name on the outside, and I would always look at the doors thinking one of my friends would be in the hospital at some point. But there was a number of Mennonite people in there as well. So, they still use regular hospitals and they own land. So they have, property records and, they may not take all the advantage of all the technologies out there, but they still have a footprint of some kind. So, and I don't know if they don't serve in the military or something, but, if they've served in the military, they'd have some kind of record too. So, anyway, that's what I was thinking. So, so Bsides Leeds, definitely go to it next year. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And you said it's only a 1-day event though.
Yeah. Yep. It was only on Friday,
but it took you 2 days to get home.
It did.
So next time, stay and do some sightseeing around Leeds.
I did. Oh no, I went and did some sightseeing around Leeds, and I went to York.
Really?
And saw some awesome churches, and it was very kind of like Diagon Alley in Harry Potter.
Oh no! Please.
It's all these. No, seriously, all these very small, little side streets with all these little shops. And
yeah, okay, I see.
Yeah, it was really neat.
Very cool. That's up in the north part of the UK, right? Leeds. It's up near Manchester in that area, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I still follow enough Premier League to remember where Liverpool and Manchester and all them are. So Middlesbrough was another one. Sunderland, I think, was another one that was a fan of mine. So, or I was a fan of. So, yeah, I definitely want to get to the UK at some point because it seems like a really nice place to hang out. My wife's family is from County Cork in Ireland, so we want to head out there at some point in the future. So she spells her last name Harrington with an A, not with an E, which is the English spelling from what I've been told. So
okay. There's not an extra U in it?
No. No.
That would be an English spelling.
Very English. Did you do you know where you're from?
Ohio.
No, I meant genetically. Have you ever done any of those 23andMe things?
I've not, no, but going based on ancestry stuff, mostly German and Scottish, I think.
Nice. Okay.
Because my maiden name's Sullivan. So
okay.
It's Scottish or Irish. I can't remember which one.
Nice. I'll spare the fans of the show my attempt at an Irish accent because it's not very good.
Oh, speaking of, three people when I was there asked me if I was from Ireland.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't sound Irish. I don't think I sound Irish.
Oh.
I sound like boring Midwestern.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, maybe some inflection, or maybe they just kind of half caught it or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I was drunk when I was talking.
Oh.
I just sounded Irish when I was drunk.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. So, literally, so we have some news this week. We're going to kind of play it light since Mr. Betcher's had a family thing come up, and the travel and the disruption of the first of the year is kind of thrown a little, we've had a lot of interviews, so we're actually going to kind of do a little news here. So literally, I had some other things, but I think this is the only thing we're going to talk about is the Apple FaceTime bug. This dropped like 45 minutes before we started recording this show. So, as of the 28th, it says Apple FaceTime bug lets you listen in on people you call, even if they haven't picked up their iPhone. So by the time this goes out next weekend, it probably will be, not a problem, but there's a bug in FaceTime. So it lets you listen into audio if you try to call someone, even if they don't pick up. That's crazy. How many people use FaceTime? Raise your hands.
Not me.
I don't either. Yeah.
Nope.
I'm not an Apple person. So.
I mean, I'm an Apple person. I just never use FaceTime.
Yeah. So it was reported by a user Benji Mob and covered by 9to5Mac. I'm looking at the CNBC version, but so it says significant bug. I'm looking at the 9to5Mac.com. Was discovered in FaceTime. Currently spreading virally over social media. Let you call anyone with FaceTime and immediately hear the audio coming from their phone before the person on the other end has accepted or rejected the incoming call. Wow.
That's crazy.
So Apple says the issue, apparently, and they didn't wait. They said it will be addressed in a software update sometime later this week. So by the time this goes to post, it probably will have already been patched. So
let's hope so.
Well, no, of course, there's an update here. It says the second part to this, which can expose video as well. So not only can you hear people, but you can also see what they're doing.
What?
Yes. And it says
so
here...
those of you that are getting more FaceTime calls recently.
Yeah. They said, and good, they've got steps to recreate it as well. So...
Oh, we should try and do that on a... Do you have an Apple phone?
I do. No, I have an Android phone. I have a Pixel. Okay. Yeah, no. Right. So it says start a FaceTime video call with iPhone contact. With an iPhone contact.
Because we could have done it live on the air.
Right. That would have been so much better. But we are not. No, I don't.
Nobody has an iPhone?
No, everybody in my house is an Android. And we don't use FaceTime if we did.
I wonder if you can do it from FaceTime from a Mac to a phone and to yourself. Probably not.
We got Macs. We probably could have, we could do Mac to Mac.
That's hilarious.
While the call is dialing, swipe up from the bottom of the screen and tap Add Person. Add your own phone number in the Add Person screen. You will then start a group FaceTime call, including yourself and the audio of the person you originally called, even if they haven't accepted the call yet. Wow. The damage potential here is real. You can listen in to sound bites of any iPhone user's ongoing conversation without them ever knowing you could hear them. Good Lord. Everybody's saying disable FaceTime until you're, disable FaceTime like system-wide. So, wowzers. We've also found that if a person presses the power button from the lock screen, their video is also sent to the caller unbeknownst to them. In this situation, the receiver can now hear your own audio, but they do not know they are transmitting their audio and video back to you. Jesus. From their perspective, all they see is accept and decline. Oh, another update. It seems there are other ways of triggering the video feed eavesdrop too. So there may not be enough fixes for this. Wow.
Holy crap.
How did this go so long without being found? And when did it get introduced? I mean, we're still in the super early stages of this, so
I really hope that would be like one hell of a bug bounty.
Yeah, I'm hoping somebody got $100K off of that, or something more than an Apple T-shirt.
Yeah.
So, I just found out.
Significant.
I just found out that I read in another story that when you're getting a call on an Android phone, if you press like the volume buttons or something, you can actually hear the person making the call. So if they're on, like sending voicemail or something, you can actually listen to them putting the voicemail down, and they can't hear you. So it's not a bug. This is actual feature. They're going to add it to the to a button, but it's a hidden feature right now on Android phones.
Huh.
Yeah. Eavesdropping.
That's not a bug. It's a feature.
Eavesdropping. On one, it's a feature. The other, it's a bug. Yeah. Wow, that's pretty bad.
Yikes.
So, yeah, it seems like that this was caught fairly quickly. It wasn't like something that was being used for a long time, maybe. So, yeah.
I'm assuming on all versions.
Well, that's the other thing. It's like they don't give that kind of information. It just seems like if you have FaceTime, you are vulnerable. So it may be all the way back to whatever, version of Mac phone, has FaceTime on it. So I have no idea because I don't use any iPhones. So anyway, so all right, let's. You know what? I actually have we were talking about GDPR earlier. Drink, because I heard GDPR is the new cyber. So if it's on any podcast, you're supposed to drink. So The Verge has an article from a couple days ago. This reporter named John Porter. He is at John, Jon Porty, Porty on Twitter. He wanted to find out how easy right of access was for GDPR. And
aren't they like really, really far behind for GDPR like requests?
I don't know. He said, well, he went and he wanted all the information. He wanted right of access from 4 of the big tech companies operating in the EU, which is Apple, Amazon, Facebook, and Google. And he said, you can get the raw data, but it's hard to understand the data. And,
I could see that.
Yeah. So, he asked them for the information. He got both Google and Apple has download services to let you pick and choose data you want to download. Facebook doesn't, but you can, it's pretty easy to figure out how to, get that process started to pull it down. Yep. And he said it took 30 days to receive a link to download his data because it was a limit imposed by regulation. So I guess they have a process. They probably have done it a lot sooner, but it took them, up to the max days to be able to give you that information.
That's a lot of data that he got too.
Yeah, 138 gigs. That's a ton of information.
Because that's all text, right?
It's all text. Yeah, he said. Well, which one did he say was in a JSON blob? Which one?
138 gig of text.
Yeah. So
holy cow!
Majority of the data Apple provided was in file types that were easy to read and understand, like CSV text and JPEGs, with only a couple of JSON blobs.
Wait a minute. The majority of that, though, because Google gave him a backup of his drive in Google Photos. So that was the majority of that.
Oh, okay. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
So that makes sense.
He said all of his location data from Google was contained in a single 61 megabyte JSON file. Okay, so it wasn't that's a lot of text because JSON is all text.
Yeah, that's still a lot of text.
I mean, that's what's that? That's semicolon separated key value pairs. So,
right.
I mean, that's a ton of text. So he's like, a bewildering array of fields labeled timestamp MS, latitude E7, longitude E7, and estimations about whether I was sitting still or in some kind of transport.
I mean, that is what makes the cool features happen.
Well, I mean, so that's like,
I love the fact that it'll tell you where you've parked.
Right.
I've used that a lot of times.
Oh yeah, I definitely pin myself if I'm in a big parking lot or something. Now with my Tesla, it just tells me where it is, and on the app.
Well, not all of us have Teslas.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
I also had somebody tell me that braking was spelled wrong over the weekend.
Well, we've only been doing this for 6 years, so it's not surprising.
So, but no. I mean, it was pretty good.
Was it said in tongue and firmly in cheek or something?
Oh no.
Oh no, he just didn't get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was good though. Nice guys.
That's okay. A 4 gigabyte HTML file called My Activity, located within the ads folder, showing me something relating to the ad tracking data that Google. 4 gigs of HTML.
Yeah.
Good God.
Yeah.
Well, they're following the letter of the law. They're giving you the raw data.
It didn't say it had to be useful.
Yeah, that's his thing. It's like, I don't understand this stuff. And it may be that he's not, maybe it's completely unrecognizable. But there was nothing in the legislation that said we have to give it to you in a way that's understandable, is it?
Right. Yeah. I don't think so.
Yeah. It's kind of funny because, he has some screenshots down here of some of the stuff on Facebook, likes, reactions, friends, following and followers, photos and videos. I can imagine if you had videos on Facebook, it would get very big very quickly. Oh,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. He said, it's terrifying to see the amount of data Facebook stored on you. Even getting into instances of people finding records of their old calls and SMS messages. And that's if you're using like Facebook Messenger or I think even like the Facebook app asks you for access to things like your address book and all your SMS texts. So it does keep that stuff. So crazy. He said Google had 72 gigs of data on him and that was the one that had by far the most. Because of like you said, videos and pictures and such. So, is it necessary for us to do that? Most people, they like JSON because it's easy to understand. But if they're obfuscating it in some way as to, is it okay? Let me see. How do I say this? What's the worst thing could happen? Would it be him receiving this data and he's got it stored somewhere and then all of a sudden it gets lost, or Google is responding to these right to access things and accidentally emails this to the wrong person? Now they've got a breach on their hands on top of trying to be compliant with something.
Right.
By obfuscating it, they're kind of protecting themselves from the release of information getting into the wrong hands, aren't they?
I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Like even if they did, I'd be interested to see the raw data, because even if they did send it to you, like, how would, like, is there anything that says whose data it is?
See, well, because it's obfuscated, does it? Does it say this is that person's? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, does it say like owner of data?
Yeah.
This person. It would have probably all of their information in it, but maybe not their name. I don't know.
Right. Or he's just got a like a UID or something, like a unifier, because he's just a line in a database for all intents and purposes. So, and it may have taken actually 30 days because they've got to pull that out of a database or a NoSQL or a Hadoop instance or something, whatever it is they've got, and that takes time to pull all of that information out. He did ask for it to be deleted. He was just, I guess he's just trying to get access to all that data. Which
I'm sure they've come up with better processes internally too to automate, pulling that kind of stuff out.
Yeah. The worst thing is they'll modify, the compliance requirements so that you have to have some kind of key to recognize what those are. But the other thing I didn't see was how does Google prove that the person who asked for the data is actually the person who wants the data?
How do any of them do it?
Yeah, do you log into Google and say, I want all my data, and then they're like, oh, well, you've logged in, you're verified.
You have to do like a double verification where you have to retype your password and do another 2-factor auth.
Yeah. And do you get any kind of notification on your email saying, oh, here's your request, it's going to be processed in 30 days? What if somebody pulled
because I've seen Google at least have some loopholes where you can kind of get around that, depending on if you have 2-factor auth turned on or not.
Yeah, I have 2-factor auth turned on everything. So anything I can get it turned on to.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
But yeah, it'd be nice if there was a way to verify all that. And, what is it? Because we just, I'm probably going to do this and see what I can come up with myself. I don't know if it's possible for me to get that data because I'm a U.S. American, but,
No, I'd imagine. Don't they still have to comply or no?
I think it's just a GDPR thing.
Because if you've ever visited, yeah, I know, but if you've ever visited the EU or anything like that, it also applies, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, well, I definitely have visited the EU in the last year, so within the last 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Cool. Okay. Was there anything you wanted to talk about? Because that was the one I saw that I thought was very interesting this week. I read that and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And, Google's over there like, oh, we'll just send him a bunch of stuff. He's not going to be able to look through 138 gigs worth of junk. So
one of the only things I want to talk about, but I'm not sure at what level I'm allowed to say the things that I know about it. I mean, I know I can say the stuff that's in the news, because there's a county near me that's it's Cuyahoga County, which is where Cleveland's at.
Yep.
That they're one of their IT, like they've had like a very large amount of indictments lately in the county.
Yeah.
And one of the people was their Department of IT, like VP or whatever, or director.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And it had to do with like them holding back information on this. They had this contract with an IT company called Cyber, like CIBER.
Yeah.
That ended up going out of business. And it was like this $9 million contract, and they had like inside ties, and it was,
oh my,
it was very, very messed up. And like they have a whole lot of issues going on internally there at that county.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought, wow, that's just, was that poor contracting practices then?
Yeah. There was stuff like, what was it? Like the, no, I can't even remember. It was like when they were negotiating it, it was, like one of their, who's making, the law director actually like was related to somebody that worked, somewhere else that was convicted of bribery charges involving the company involving that cyber company. And like, it's just like this gigantic cluster of terrible government officials. Right.
Wow.
So yeah, I guess they're just tacking on a whole bunch of stuff, and that along with like the the government shutdown and stuff, and them having to look into everything internally. I'm sure there's obviously going to be a huge investigation and everything. And there are people just using their position to do like some terrible thing with expenses and contracts and
right,
and throw money around or whatever.
Yeah. So I actually remembered another story. So we've been talking about ransomware for various organizations. City of Atlanta had it. I want to say, was it Baltimore also had some issues? And then of course there was, several like school districts that ran afoul of ransomware. And we've talked about in the past that a lot of smaller organizations get hit by ransomware and they just choose to pay the ransom because it's the only way to get their money back, because they're in transition to put backup services online. I said that in quotey fingers, meaning they didn't have any backups and they completely screwed the pooch. So, a town that is near my house, I live in a little town called Snoqualmie, Washington, which is east of Seattle. Another town down the I-90 between Snoqualmie and Seattle called Sammamish was involved in a ransomware attack late last week, Thursday night. And to the point where I'm reading two different stories, you'll forgive me. So they canceled and delayed city services, so they can't process passports, pet licenses, permits, building, mechanical, plumbing, and electrical inspection requests, and all city credit cards were canceled. The attack was discovered on Wednesday, and the city manager declared an emergency, which allowed him additional powers to spend up to $50,000 to fix the issue.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm reading this. I'll put these in the show notes, but yeah, it's just interesting that, somebody caught wind of this nice little hamlet here, and 65,000 residents could be losing data of some type. So the city manager began shutting down services. They're working with a security consulting firm. I found another article that mentioned which consulting firm they're using. Let me see what they said. People were continuing the work of the city with pen and paper and phone calls and talking to people in person.
All right.
I'd love to find out more about this. I don't know if we're going to find out any more information, but they said some employees took to enabling mobile hotspots on their personal phones after the attack and have switched to mobile hotspots provided by the city, though much work is still being done. E911 and 311 access, which is information over here if you're doing call to dig or something like that. It took down most everything except for like the emergency services, which is good because usually what you hear is cities will have a flat network and everything will be involved. So, their 911 services were obviously on a separate network. So, it seems like bully to the IT people over there in Sammamish for not having everything on one network.
Yeah, for some reason I thought the 911 stuff had to be separate.
Oh, I don't know. And 911's emergency stuff.
Rarely do you hear that going down.
Well,
right?
Well, that happened. What wasn't a Comcast, but it was CenturyLink. Which one had the 911 disruption across all of Seattle a couple of months ago? Had no 911 for about 3 days, and it come to find. Yeah. Hold on, I'll find the link.
Whoa, no, I did not know that.
Yes, CenturyLink 911 outage. That's a Google thing here.
Because that would be kind of cool to have somebody on the show that's worked on that stuff.
Yeah, this was a nationwide CenturyLink outage. Knocked out 911 voice calls in parts of the U.S. and affected everything from Verizon mobile data to ATM withdrawals, lottery drawings, hospital patient records. And come to find out, it was some kind of infrastructure card in Colorado was sending out additional packets or something, and it overloaded the entire system and just blew everything up.
Holy cow.
Yeah, so it was out for about 3 days. This company acknowledged a service disruption yesterday morning, later saying that they identified a network element that was impacting customer services and were working to address the issue. And order and services. So yeah, it was out for several days. And Idaho, Arizona, Massachusetts, Missouri, and Western Washington. So the FCC is going to investigate. And, I'm sure a lot's going to come out of that. Patient records were difficult to access for medical centers in North Colorado. Internet outage for Idaho's Department of Corrections and Department of Education was knocked out. Yeah, this affected tons of people and things and stuff. So, yeah. So just a hot mess. And this was at the end of the year. So, I mean, that was, December 28th. Yeah, right after Christmas. So, yeah, I remember... they were encouraging people.
How did we not talk about that?
Well, we don't normally talk about news so much.
Yeah, true.
True. We may start doing a little bit more news because...
all we've talked about in today's news.
Well, I know, but the podcasts are dropping like flies, man.
We will not go down without a fight.
I know. We'll definitely give it our utmost before we shutter this bad boy.
We don't hate each other yet.
Oh. What do you mean, yet?
Well, maybe that's why Betcher's not here.
No. Mr. Betcher's got family issues, and like a benevolent dictator, I said he can, hang off and,
you're such a good boss.
Go take care of the fam, So that's the important thing, So, you need to go take yet another nap and get back to Central Time or Eastern Time Zone. So I'm going to, call it good this week. If anybody has any questions about any of the news that we discussed or any opinions that we gave, please feel free to let us know. Or, the thing.
Or don't.
Well, constructive criticism is often necessary for a growing environment.
I suppose. I'm going to get off and read this book that I just gotten.
Which book is that? Questions for Terrible People. Is that, are you the terrible people or are you?
Obviously.
Oh, no.
Oh. It's like Would You Rather, but better.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I don't like any of those questions. They're not good.
What?
They never. No. Give me an example of one for questions for
I can't read that one on the air. Hold on.
Please find one that's PG, please.
You're gonna wake up tomorrow as the Disney villain of your choice. Who do you pick?
Oh, Maleficent.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, because Angelina Jolie just made that dress look great. So
she did. Yeah, I think that dress would look great on you.
Yeah, goes with my eyes. So, and my heart, which is black as pitch. So, anyway. All right. Well, you need to go and read your book and get some more sleep and commune with your children whom you've not seen in a little bit. So,
most of them are sleeping. That's all right.
Oh, that's cool. All right. Well, how would people find you on Twitter if they wanted to?
So at InfoSystir, INFOSYSTIR, or my new other account that, at least the one that people know about, is Hackers Health. Hackers Health,
right on. Mr. Boettcher can be found at Boettcherpwned, BOETTCHERPWNED. He's also the lead developer, was the only developer, of LogMD, which is an application used to help bolster your Windows logging of events of things. And it's not a detection tool. It's it helps you find infections before as they occur or when they're occurring, so you can better detect. It is a detection tool. So yeah, shut up, you.
You do great at this.
I'm good. I can. Yes. I can market and sell things like no one's business over here.
Yeah.
But he's at LogMD, log-md.com, and he's also on the Breaking Down Incident Response podcast, which I'm sure they're gonna give me an episode that they've recorded, Mr. Goff and him. So check that one out as well. I'm on Twitter, Brian Brake, BRYAN BRAKE. Brakesec is at Brakesec on Twitter, BRAKESEC. Thank you to all of our Bsides Leeds listeners and all of our people overseas. We appreciate you. And if you have any topics that us our U.S. people are ignorant about that you'd like for us to cover, please let us know. Liz Rice, she's from England. We've had several people from that area on. Really, phone call guy. So please, hit us up if you're interested in coming on the show talking about something. So we're on iTunes, Google Play Store. Please leave us feedback. That way we can, get up there to, the higher echelons of podcast folk.
Now we're going to start growing just because all the other ones are dying off.
I don't want it to feel like that. And I wanted to text some of those folks and go, hey, would you mind, maybe endorsing us or saying, hey, there's other podcasts if you don't want, since we're not
just
on
do
right
one
now.
Last one and say, hey, since you're missing ours, Brakesec's pretty great.
Yeah. But it comes off kind of, mean. So I was like, well, okay, I won't ask them to, maybe give us a shout out or anything. So, but yeah, we're on TuneIn Radio app, iHeartRadio. We're on a ton of places. Feel free to hit us up. Breaking Security, BRAKEING security.com is our website. And that was it for this week. And, I may put out there may be an update at the beginning of this if there's been more developments on the Facetime thing. So, hopefully I added that.
Disable it right now. They haven't fixed it.
Yeah, if they haven't patched by the end of the week, like they said, if they haven't done it by the 1st of February, then you need to turn that stuff off if you haven't already. So, cool. All right. Well, thank you, Ms. Berlin, for being a trooper and dealing with the jet lag and everything. And thanks for your report on Bsides Leeds. And you keep being awesome.
Yeah, you too.
All right. Well, that was it for Breaking Down Security this week. Have a great week. Be kind to one another, please. I know it's getting harder. Please be kind to one another. Think before you tweet. That should be like think before you tweet. That would be great.
That's a good sign-off line.
That's t-shirt worthy, I think.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself because as Miss Berlin and I are fond of saying, you're the only you have. And we'll talk to you again soon.
Bye.